Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Brijesh, your host for this session today.
Good evening.
Yeah, so let me give you a small introduction about Techcanvass before we start this session today. So we are an IT certification training organization for mid-level professionals. Being an authorized training center for IIBA and ISQI, we are authorized to conduct the certification courses like CBAP, that is CBAP, ECBA, CCBA, CABA, and AAC, that is Agile Analysis Certification. We also provide multiple domain trainings like banking, finance, US healthcare, insurance, and many others. We have recently launched courses on data visualization in Power BI and Tableau, and a course on data analytics in Excel. Our mission is to enable our course aspirants to clear their certification exams in very first attempt, and we always strive for it. All right, so small introduction about today's speaker also, Ms. Ranjana Grover. With more than 10 years of experience, Ranjana has worked on uncountable reporting projects in various domains like banking, insurance, business management, project management, operations, life sciences, ATM, healthcare, federal, and whatnot. She has worked with Fortune 500 organizations. She holds a keen interest in upcoming reporting and visualization tools and technologies, and implementation of the same at business level. All right, so I would request Ranjana to begin the session now. All right, everyone, thank you. Over to you, Ranjana.
Thanks, Brijesh. Hey everyone, I'm Ranjana, and as Brijesh told you, I have been into this, business analytics field for 10 plus years. So let's start up with the session, and I would like to welcome all of you to Techcanvass Tableau Fundamentals for Business Analysts webinar. So before I start, I would just request you all to be on mute during the session. We'll have a question and answer, session after a few slides or few topics we go through, and then probably you can, ask your questions. But before that, if you can just be on mute so that there's no disturbance to the other participants. So let's start with the very first topic of ours. Okay, so when we talk about what is data visualization, right? So what exactly is it? Okay, is it just graphs and charts? Because we all if I'm not wrong, like all of you like are working somewhere, right, with an organization. Even if if you have been a student, right, you have done basic reportings, which we do in our student life. We do some type of diagrams in our students' life, and while working with the organization, everybody at every level has worked with Excel, right? We do make some charts, we do make pivot tables, we do make graphs. So what exactly is business visualization? Is it just those graphs and charts, okay, or the spreadsheet which you have on the Excel, or the the tables which you create in Excel for let's say for your leadership or for your management? Is that business data visualization, or is it not, right? That is the very first thing which we have in our mind when we talk about data visualizations, because we have been like using Excel since ages, right? And the moment we think about data visualization, oh, I do it every day because I create those spreadsheets, I create those line charts, I create some graphs. But to be very honest, yes, few of them might be the part of data visualization, but till the time your charts, your graphs, your any type of visualization or the tables you're creating, if they are not providing any story, they are not a data visualization. Okay, when you till the time it is not creating a pattern, till the time you're not creating a trend, you are not transforming the the data into such a visual context that it means something, it is not a data visualization. Yes, pivot tables, pie charts, line graphs, column charts are visualizations, but only if they actually are giving some meaning to some meaning to what actually you're seeing. You cannot just go to the leadership and show a chart, a random chart. Okay, this is the data visualization, and this is how your department or your organization is working. I guess everybody of you would agree that if the leaders love to look at the charts, right? But till that time they don't give you the numbers they want or the reason they want, they won't consider it as a visualization. So what is actually data visualization? It is a combination of scientific visualization, information visualization, and visual analytics. Now, when I talk about scientific visualizations, what is scientific visualizations? Is it just the calculations which scientists do? No, it can be anything which is actually related to the the when you talk about the real time, the real time numbers you're talking about, the real time analytics you do on. Okay, so that is scientific visualization. When we talk about information visualization, those are the metrics, the KPIs you create, right? What exactly, something which actually, is giving you the information of a certain, let's say a department of, or, let's say, it's some or the other way it's very informative. It is actually telling some. So example, like in a department, if you want to know how a department is performing, you create a visualization, let's say with their time utilization. You create a visualization to tell, like how productive your associates in that particular department are. That is information visualization. And when you combine these scientific visualizations and information visualization, that is when you create a visual analytics, because that is something where you actually can figure out something out of it. That is something where you can, say that it's telling you a story. Okay. It tells you like how you started, how the process went, and what next needs to be done. Because if you're not letting the leadership know, or you yourself, if you're driving you know your project somewhere, if you don't know what needs to be done next after seeing a visualization, it's not a data visualization. And yes, as this line says, it's not just a pretty face, it actually is meaningful and decisive, right? So as I said, that if your visualizations are not creating any meaning, they're not decision driven, so they're not visualization. It's storytelling with a purpose. It's easy to understand even with less or no technical knowledge. Over here, I would just like to stress out, I guess a lot of you people would be like from the technical background, and a lot of you might not be, right? And in the same way, the users you're contacting, you're working with, they might be technical and they might not be technical. There are a lot of end users to whom we actually give away the output of our project, who don't have that much of technical knowledge. But if you are driving something, and if you provide a visual of something to them, and they're able to understand what exactly that visual is trying to convey, that is a best data visualization. That is what actually data visualization means. And the last time which says it's meaningful, I would like to stress on that yes, it has to be meaningful. Data visualization is meaningful and has to be meaningful. Okay, with this, I will move on to the next slide. Okay, now I would say, uh, why data visualization, right? The very first thing which after knowing what exactly is data visualization, you would like to know why data visualization, right? So I just have an example over here for you. This is a spreadsheet. This is a cutout of a spreadsheet, or it's just a you can say a snip of a spreadsheet, and it's from a very basic our superstore sample superstore, which we have which we use for any type of exam, which we use as an example for a lot of things, right? Even from MS Access database, we take super sample store as an example, and we practice on the same, right? So this is a spreadsheet of super sample store, and can you just drive anything out of it? Can you just let me know exactly what is this telling you? With all this spreadsheet, you have row ID, you have order ID, order date, ship model, customer ID, customer name, segment, country, and whatnot. I'm not gonna read all the columns, obviously, but can does this and actually mean anything? It's just a spreadsheet. It has a lot of fields. Probably yes, it has a lot of columns which actually mean a lot to an organization, to a department. But just the spreadsheet doesn't mean anything. So here comes your answer: why visualization? So a visual summary of information makes it easier to identify patterns and trends than looking through thousands of rows on a spreadsheet, right? Just before the slide, we saw number of rows and number of columns over there. In fact, there were very less columns which I showed you. There in Super Sample Store, Superstore, we have a lot of columns. I guess there are n number of columns over there. So those rows and columns will not make any sense till the time you actually draw a pattern or a trend on the same, right? And as we say, images speak louder than words. Go to a leader, okay, of an organization, any organization, or take any department of yours, okay, and go to them and ask them, like, this is a text table which I prepared, let's say, with hundreds of rows and columns, and just say that this is what I prepared for you, and this is how a department or a certain organization is working. They're going to say, what am I deriving from it? I don't understand anything, right? Even why do we talk about leaders? Why don't we talk about ourselves? Like, if as I said, like, just before the slide, I showed you a few rows and columns, you would have said that, what can I drive out of it? I don't understand. There are so many customers, there are so many orders, there are so many models, there are so many quantity. What? So till the time you don't draw something out of it, you don't create something out of it, you won't know exactly what is going on in that data. So that's why we say images speak louder than words, and that's why we need data visualization, because it provides you the insight to the hidden facts of data. There might be a lot of things which you might miss when you are looking manually towards it. So I'll give you a very basic example. While doing while like shifting through your Excel worksheet, sometimes it happens that you want to look at a certain customer, or a certain, let's say, ID, or a certain department, right? So what do? You try to filter out the data. We have the filter formula, filter thing in Excel, right? Where we have that, we filter it, and that's how you actually try to look at the data for that particular customer, for that particular department, or that particular ID, right? So why do we filter out? Why can't we shift through one, and like each and every row, and see exactly like how that department is doing, or the metric which we actually want to look into for that particular customer, or that department, or that that ID, right? We cannot, because there will be like that would be like so tedious, and also it would be erroneous, right? We can make errors over there. So similarly, like data visualization actually gives you the insight, and also, as I said, you can be erroneous while we do the things manually, right? So when we say hidden facts, so there are a lot of things which we don't come to know till the time we actually create a pattern to it. You won't come to know things like, let's say, you won't come to know how a department is working year on year, or performing on year on year, till the time you actually create a trend on it, right? So it's storytelling. When I say storytelling, you would have, I don't know like how many of you are married and have kids, but even when you were as a kid, you would have heard, like you would have asked your grandmas and all to tell you a story. So how does a story starts? It starts like once upon a time, right? And how does it end? It ends like so they lived happily ever after, right? So all that from once upon a time till happily ever after, how the story went, that is what data visualization is. So how once upon a time, how your data was, how you are doing things right now, what the data is trying to tell you right now, and what should be your next step to make it happy ever after, is what visualization is, right? They are easy to sort, comprehend, and explain. So when you show a, let's say, a bar graph or a line trend to anybody in your organization, okay, and you tell that, see, this is how we were performing on in the year 2018. This how we went in 2019, and this what happened after 2000 in 2020 after COVID-19, right? So it's gonna tell how it's gonna tell you a story, and you'll be able to explain it. Even if you don't explain it to the audience would be able to comprehend it while just seeing at it that this is what you're trying to show them. All right, so that is what data visualization is. It helps the leadership or management to gain the insight and take decisive steps. According to Tableau, I'm just quoting here from Tableau. Um, Data visualization is one of the most useful, powerful professional skills to develop. The better you can convey your points visually, the better you can leverage that information. Now, if you see this again, it is trying to repeat the very second point over here on our presentation, which says images speak louder than words. So the more the visualization which you create, the more it is informative. Okay, the more you can speak through your images, the more you can take out of something out of it, right? The better decisions you can take out of it. So I will just wait here for a second and ask if there's a question over here. Okay, so I guess it was pretty easy and understandable, so I'll just move forward. And we have a use case over here for for a organize for like a bank. Okay, and we're just trying to show how the banking domain tries to get insights about their presence and the value addition they are actually putting on Y, right? So it's a visualization, and I am not saying that it's in Tableau or it's in Power BI. We're just taking this as a data visualization, a normal data visualization. Okay, so let's see. So if you see over here, this is a graph, okay, which has some dense parts and there are some scattered parts over here. So this is how you're trying to showcase that how that particular bank is present in India, in different states and different localities, right? And also along with that, on the right hand side, if you can see, there's a small text table which tells you year on year banking outlets which were open for that particular bank, okay, and in how many cities. I'm just sorry, I'll just go back to this. Okay, so over here you can see that how they performed year on year. So they have 4,715 banking outlets in March 17. In March 18, they had 4,787. In 19, they had 5,103, and then March 20, they had 5,416. So this is telling you a story that how they started off in 17, what do they have in 20. So it's pretty much speaking about itself. I don't think so I have to read it, because you'll be able to understand it directly, that how things are there, how things are working, how what year on year the bank has performed itself in opening banking outlets, and how they've grown in the cities, because the second line says how they've grown in the cities. So they had 2,657 cities where their presence was in March 17. Until March 2020, they had to cover 2,803 cities, right? And then again, and just below it, we have our distribution amongst the metro cities, the semi-urban cities, urban and rural, right? And the percentage shows how much of the presence is there of the same bank in different areas, in different types of, in fact, different types of cities, right? How many of them are metros, how many of the semi-urban and urban and rural. So similarly, it shows you like every. Just give me 1 second. Sorry. So it's telling you a story about about the bank, how it has performed. And if you see, it is just not only the graphs. There's also a text table. As I just said it before, like when I said that the spreadsheets are not data visualization, and you would be having a question that there's a text table over here, which tells something like how they have grown from March 17 to March 20. But then if you see, it's telling you a story. And as I said, it doesn't matter where you are doing the data visualization, but it should tell you a story. So yes, there is a text table, but it's actually giving you something. It's actually telling you something about what you have done and what is should be your next steps. The organization might come to know exactly like how many more banking outlets they want to open, how in how many cities they need to cover up now, right? If you see the density over here in the map, right? They know where they don't have much presence. If you see, the Jammu Kashmir part is very scarce, where they don't have much presence. So probably the organization would be now focusing that they need to open a few branches over there. Okay, the far east side, they're very scarce, right? They might think that they need to work over here in the west side, right? They have a bit, there's a small area which is left where they think they don't have that much of presence. So this particular map tells them exactly how to perform and where to perform. So this is how data visualization works. Okay, I'll go through one other example. Okay, so this is just a small, again, example, like, a random example that has been created. This has been created by Tableau, okay, on Tableau basically. Okay, and if you see, we have again a map of India, and this is this ABC Corp, okay, and now how they're telling you like, how the channels are performing in different areas. And if you see, the color coding shows you like how they are actually contacting the customers. Are they directly contacting the customer? Are they emailing, or is it a print media, or the referrals, or social media, or TV media? So to give you a very basic example, you would have seen like when you see something on your the on when you're like let's say you are just googling out something about yourself. We google a lot, right? I've grown fat. What should I do? You just google it out, right? Then let's say I have so and so issue. What should I do? You just google it out. We google a lot these days, right? So once you start googling about something, those things start coming on your Facebook pages. Those small advertisements start coming on your different pages, right? How do that come in? I guess everybody, probably a lot of you might be knowing about the how they do it, right? This is why they have cookies, and they have if you say, see, if you they have a lot of there are a lot of organization, there are a lot of websites. When you actually enter them, they have this that we use cookies and all in your browser, and they I'm sorry. So, and they say that, do you accept that we are not going to store some cookies and all, right? And you say yes, or you say accept, right? So they store it, and this is how they come to know about you. They come to know that you might be a potential customer for their products, right? When you look at few addresses, or few, let's say, any type of accessories for on Myntra, or you're looking, just googling it out, Myntra starts arriving and popping up in your Facebook. They start arriving any web page. When you enter, there'll be a small advertisement over there for Myntra, or like some other marketing type of app or website, right? So I'm sorry. So this is And this is how they come to know. They now they have the data, and they can target you. When they have that data, they create a visualization on the same, and they come to know that yes, you are a potential customer for them, right? So that is how visualization helps. So if you see over here, just a customer loyalty reason, okay, so it is telling you like why the customers are loyal to that particular organization. And if you see, it's like there are different statements which says brand impact, product and service delivery, value to price ratio, buying experience, okay, and they're in different fonts. So this is not a mistake, or this is not a formatting issue. So basically it's a visualization which is trying to say that particular which reason is more effective for for our customer to be being loyal for that organization. When you So if you see, the value to price ratio is in the biggest for font, which means that this is one of the best reason that the customers are coming back to the ABC Corp, right? Again, this is data visualization, and you this is something drive out of it. This is something the organization drives out of it. So this is how the data visualization helps you. If you say buying patterns and brand demand, right? How many product choices we have and how many brands we have in that particular product, right? For automobile lovers, probably like there are like 3 or 4 brand choices like Honda, Hyundai, and Maruti, and how they are actually how much demand they have. It's shown in front of it. So it's actually all the things, all these particular maps or text tables or this word cloud type of things. It's actually trying to show you like how things can be driven, and how till now they have been driven till now, right? So as I said, it tells you the story. So once upon a time to happily ever after, they're telling you the whole story out of it, right? Okay, I'll move on to one of our case studies. Okay, so now we have the situation of COVID-19, and that's one of the reasons that we are having this, webinar, and it's all online, right? So this is a very, so this is not something which we have prepared at Techcanvass or something. It is a source, and I have like mentioned the source over there. If you can see, pandemic.international sos.com, and the page part and all. Okay, so uh, when we talk about COVID-19, okay, and this is a very real example of how data visualization works in our day-to-day life as an organization. Okay, so probably like when a government works, and they come to know every day in news you hear about COVID-19, and we come to know that so many people died, or let's say these many people were affected, these many people are still there, those who have COVID. How do we come to know about it? Right, nobody goes to the government and actually tells them, okay, I have COVID-19. Oh, yes, we do have Arogya Setu app, right, in our phones, but that does not mean that they're gonna go single individually to the people, to the government, and they're gonna tell you that I have COVID-19, please note it down. No, we don't do it like that, okay? Right. So the government actually have different data sources from where they actually collect the data. So let's say Arogya Setu in India is one of the sources for government where they actually they get the data from. So when we talk about data visualization, there's another part which comes in, is the collation of the data from different data sources, right? When we talk about data visualization, the data munging and data wrangling comes in picture, right? So we I mean, why do they come in the picture is like, again, the reason behind that is that we need to create something, where actually I'm sorry, where actually you want to create something where you can take a decision from, right? So when you want to derive some decision, so and but you have a very raw data, like we saw in the in the super sample superstore database, right? The Excel spreadsheet, that was a very raw data. Now we need to do some cleaning of that data. We need to monk that data, right? And then get into a certain like tool or technology where you can create something meaningful out of it, and that's where the data visualization is created. So data visualization is not just only that what you showcase on the screen, be it Tableau or be it Power BI, be it Excel or any other tool, like n number of tools for data visualizations, right? But it is also how you deal with the data before that. So you get data from different sources, you mung it, you wrangle it, and then you come up with the clean data and you perform analytics over it and you perform visualization upon it. So similarly, like over here, there's this case study which shows how you collect data for COVID-19 from different data sources, from different countries, let's say over here, and then you create a data visualization, and it's a story. If you see, there are certain radio buttons above it which says confirmed cases, confirmed deaths, case fatality rate, tests per confirmed case, share of positive tests. So if you see, there are so many KPIs, there are so many things which we can actually take out of that data. It's not only like how many cases we are dealing with, it is also how many confirmed cases, how many confirmed deaths are there, what is the fatality rate, and there are a lot of people who are dying because of COVID. How many tests are we performing, how are we coming to know that these many other confirmed cases. That is like a proportionate to what, how many tests you're doing, right? So all these things are related to each other. When we have a certain raw data, there are a lot of things which are related to each other, and that's when we talk about relationship of the data, right? We all create relationships between the tables, but when you create those relationships in the tables, how are you going to drive something out of it? Yes, we know what is going to be like related to which field in the data, but how are you going to showcase that? How are you going to tell the organizations, or how are you going to tell the departmental heads, or you yourself, if you are the driving person, to like what are we going to take out of it, what are we going to take away from it, so that's when this data visualization comes in place, and we see that this is how much confirmed deaths we are having, this is how much fatality rate is there for the COVID-19. Along with that, you see the filters. If you see on the left hand side, we have filters. When you say sort by country name, which all countries do you want to see? So again, it's very, even if you're not from a technical background, as we discussed in our previous slide, that the data visualization is something which even a person, if it is he's not very technically good, he should be able to play with the data. So these filters are very much explanatory for that particular user, right? How he can see what exactly he is, like that how exactly the COVID is going in his country, and how many positive tests have been like are there, and how much fatality rate is there in his particular country, right? So all these things, be it the filters, be it the the radio buttons which we have, all these parts are a part of data visualization, and they tell you a story, and they are pretty much straightforward for anybody. With that, I'll just move forward. Okay, this is another case study on the same COVID. The source remains the same. Okay, and if you see that that is this particular data visualization is telling you how many tests were conducted against how much confirmed cases we have. So are they less? Are they more? Like obviously, I guess it should be like the test conducted would tell you exactly how many confirmed cases we have, and they are for different countries, you see, and they tell you in the total cases, the total tests in millions, how many tests have been done. So this is again telling you something, some story, and then again we have this index where we actually you can see the which particular for what exactly different color actually means to you. So if somebody comes in and see, okay, this is red, why is it red? Okay, I can see it over here, that this is the reason it is red. Okay, because it is in North America. Let's say this color is, this is South America, right? So even if if you see, if over the dot over here, it doesn't has anything, but I can just relate it to the the color code over here. So this is what data visualization is. right? Maps. Now, when we started talking about data visualization, we were just talking about the graphs, the pie charts, the pivot tables, the text tables which we were creating. But now comes in the maps. They too are a part of data visualization. If you see, workplace closure during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? This is a world, world map, and then we can see that how many countries or how many states in the countries or in the continents were there where no measures were required to to be taken, and then there were certain places where it was recommended that the workplace should remain closed. Then they were required for some, like in India there were like few workplaces which were closed, but there were some which were like open, right? And then only the key workers are working in the organizations, but rest of them should not be working, so that there's no spread of the pandemic, right? So this particular map is also telling you a story along with the legends which we have over here, and it also tells you that this particular I'm sorry, this visualization is as per the date on 28th August in 2020. So as per this particular date, how the things are performing all over the world, it's there, right? So this is what data visualization all about. Okay. Before I move forward, I would just ask everyone if there is any question till now. Okay, since nobody is asking anything, I guess it's pretty much clear. So let's move forward. So now talking about the tools for data visualizations. As I earlier also stated that there are n number of tools in the market available for the data visualizations. So I'm just gonna name a few: Tableau, Power BI, Clicksense, IBM Cognos Analytics, SAP Analytics Cloud, Domo, Spotfire, Zoho Analytics, etc. And there are n number of other, tools available in the market. So we cannot write down all the names, but there are n number. But these are the few of the the basic, the very they're the like market ruling type of data visualization tools which are available in the market as of now. Now, I have, we have taken few certain technologies in consideration, which are like Tableau, Power BI, ClickSense, and we have just tried to compare the different options and their pros and cons in a small table. Again, this is like part of a data visualization, I would say. Okay, so if you see for Tableau, Power BI, and ClickSense, so what is the visualization capabilities, right? So I have used Tableau extensively. It's been like more than almost like 7 years I've been using Tableau. Okay, so it has excellent graphics and visualizations, right? And when it comes to Power BI, all of us we have used Excel, right? So it looks a lot like Excel. So it's very easy to use, I would say. Okay, I wouldn't say it has like it is bad in terms of like Tableau when compared to, but yes, Tableau has much more excellent graphics and visualization compared to Power BI. Then comes this ClickSense. Okay, it's a self-service analytics tool. Again, we don't have much visualization capabilities over here. Okay, then comes the advanced analytics capabilities, right? So in Tableau, we have fully integrated support for R and Python, which are the new upcoming technologies. In fact, a lot of organizations have already adapted to R and Python for analytics part. Okay. Then in Power BI, it supports R language-based visualizations. However, it doesn't, as of now, has anything related to Python. And when it comes to ClickSense, it doesn't support R or Python based any type of projects. Okay. Then coming to the cloud capability, nowadays everybody is working on clouds. We have we all want something which is compatible with the cloud capability things, capability platforms actually in our organizations which we already are using. So Tableau is pretty much compatible with Azure, AWS, and a lot of other cloud platforms. Power BI as of now is compatible with MS Azure. Okay, and when we talk about Clicksense, so it offers SaaS cloud, sorry, not SaaS, it's SaaS cloud product. Okay, when it comes to the big data integration, um, so in Tableau, you can actually connect to almost any data repository. You can from MS Excel to Hadoop clusters to let's say I would say like any other data repository which we have for big data, it's there. Okay, and then when we talk about Power BI, okay, it's actually Power BI can actually work above what you create from Tableau and ClickSense. Okay, and in ClickSense, what we have is that you have a single environment data management where you can do everything in a single environment. You don't have to switch on from one platform to another. Okay, when we come to storage limit, so we have only 100 GB data storage in Tableau. Power BI, it has 10 GB cloud storage. And in ClickSense, we have the highest, which is 500 GB cloud storage. I'm sorry, it's written CUD, but it's cloud storage actually. And then talking about the operations, like operating system, we have Windows and Mac compatibility with Tableau. It works on both the OS systems, but Power BI and ClickSense, they work only on Windows. So I am not trying to say anything that this particular tool is better than the other. We're just trying to compare few pros and cons for different tools and technologies which we have in the market, and it obviously depends on you or your organization what they actually offer you, or the client you're working with, what they offer you or what you offered them, you want to work on with. Okay, so we'll just move forward, and I'll just go through some Tableau features which we have. Now in Tableau, I am not gonna go deep in what exactly all the features of Tableau, because there are n number of Tableau features. Okay, but we'll just go through a few of them, and like I guess a lot of people who might have already been working on Tableau would be knowing about it. So we have Tableau dashboards. We Dashboard is something like in Excel you create a lot of charts, right? And then you place in a certain sheet, right, all together to tell a story. Along with that, those charts, Tableau in Tableau dashboards, can have maps. You can have different charts. You can have different annotations, and you can link them to certain applications. Like if you want to go to SAP application, okay, you can actually have a link over there. You can embed some things over there. So that is what Tableau dashboard is all about. It's more of like it is a story. Has a storytelling part as well. Okay, then collaboration and sharing, as we just saw some of the features of different tools, where we saw that it can collaborate with a lot of technologies, and you can share with your amongst the people in your organization, right? It has live and in-memory data, both the things. So you can connect it live. You can actually, it does has in-memory data capability as well. Then there are a lot of data sources you can actually, connect to through Tableau. There are advanced visualization in Tableau. When we talk about advanced visualization, we mean chart types. So there are a lot of modified chart types as well in Tableau. So everybody you would have seen pie charts and all, but you do have a type of have donut charts which you can create in Tableau, which are actually nothing much but a pie on a pie, but it has the capability to get that thing done in over here. So even if you don't have a certain map in Tableau, you have this capability of coming up with an image of the map, and then mapping things over there on that image. Okay, it has robust security. These days a lot of almost like all the visualization tools, we have the mobile views as well. So be it Tableau, be it Power BI, we do have those mobile views where you can actually where you or your leadership or people in your organization, they can just go and check whatever is being posted in their mobile application. So you don't have to be present in your office with your laptops or your systems. where you need to view those things. You have mobile views for them. Then comes the ask data. So ask data is something, where it's more of like, a part of AI. When that it's more like, where you ask a very simple question in a normal English language to Tableau, and it tells you, it gives you the option, of what has to be done. So let's say, if you want a sum of profits for a certain customer, you just write down that question in Tableau, and it gives you the whole formula or the visualization along with it. You don't actually have to type that formula on your own, because that is what Tableau does it for you. And it uses AI for that. And a similar type of thing we do have for Power BI as well, where we say Power BI has Q&A. Similarly, they Tableau has Ask Data. Then for in another feature of Tableau is, trend lines and predictive analysis. So you can do a lot of predictive analysis and trend lining in Tableau. So now they have, two types of different things in Tableau, where you have, statistical things, and when you have, you can show analytical things. So there are a lot of other statistical, add-ons which are there now available on Tableau, where you can actually, do that type of analysis in Tableau. You have cross database joins, so every type of join you can perform in Tableau. You can do also do the, data blending, which you say, okay. You have normal joins which you normally do in a single database. There's nested sorting. I'm sorry. Then we have drag and drop integration, prep conductor. Prep conductor is another new feature which has been, like, added into Tableau since a year or so. Okay, where you can actually prepare your data, as we were talking about data munging and data wrangling, right? So all this can be done in Tableau before you actually, prepare for the data visualizations. You can already do that in the prep conductor in Tableau. Okay, you can do a revision history in Tableau. You have sandbox extension, and as I said, there are n number of, Tableau features that this continues on and on and on, right? Okay, now the very important thing, when we had this long conversation about data analytics and, data visualization and everything, but why did we have this all, this all conversation is like, to tell you what exactly Techcanvass has to offer to you. Okay, and what we have for you is that we provide you Power BI and Tableau certifications. Okay, they are just not only normal certifications that you just go and give your exams and you get the certification, but we also provide you complete hands-on course. Okay, we'll have case studies, we'll have use cases where you can actually, go through them, and you can actually, do it in an actual manner and understand how things work. We have real life case studies for you to understand exactly how things work in different tools, with the data visualizations. So how the tools can be, applicated in their real life. There are certain course projects we have. So please do contact Nazni at techcanvass.co.in or Abhishek at techcanvass.com, to get more information on the same. And with that, I would like to end the session. Thank you. And if you see, I have a big thank you again, a word cloud, and it's data visualization. So thank you so much. And I will just open this for Brijesh or any question and answers if somebody has. Over to you, Brijesh.
Thanks, Sanjana. I would request anyone, if you have any questions, we can ask right now. If you want, you can send your question through chat box as well.
Hi Brijesh, Suraj here. Just wanted to know, like, are we like having the recording of this session? I just missed first like 15-20 minute session.
Yes, Suraj, actually, we have recorded the session. So
Okay.
I'll ask my colleague, the concerned team, if possible, they'll share you the recorded video of this webinar.
All right, that would be good. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, so they can ask right now, or if you want, you can write your questions in the chat box as well. Hi Ranjana, there is a question from Prathamesh. He's asking what is current market requirement for Tableau or Power BI?
So as I said, Prathamesh, that a lot of people are using Tableau and Power BI in their organization. Although both are very strong tools for visualization, but it also depends on what your client or your organization has to offer to you. So there are few things which people would like to understand. Probably like your organization might be like a bit reluctant to use a certain tool because of the costing part, but both are very strong tools, because if both Tableau and Power BI have different costing parts, for tools, but both are very strong tools for the data visualization. So you cannot actually compare it. Both have their own pros and cons. Okay, but yes, it depends on the organization or the client you're working for. What particular tool they want to use. It can be any costing part, or it can be any performance part of the same. You're welcome, Prathamesh.
Kedar, about the fee structure, I'll share you the complete course details along with the fee structure to your email ID. So if you can just share your email ID here as well. Yeah. Thanks, Kedar. Yes, anyone has any other questions, so please feel free to ask.
I guess we missed one of the query, which is from Archana. I guess if she has asked like more how the BA will work with this tool, right, Archana? So Archana, see, if you're a business analyst, right, so you'll be working with the client and the team from both the ends, and to understand exactly how actually the data visualization works, like before presenting anything to the client, you'll be obviously requiring few a knowledge for it, right? So if you have the knowledge of of a data visualization tool, okay, you'll be able to coordinate with the team and the client, and you can actually pitch the client or the team which you're working with, who's actually providing the visualization tool to you, and you can tell them exactly what are the pros and cons of using so and so tool, and how you can change the course of data, your way of looking out towards data in the real time. Okay, so if you have a pharma client, you can tell that particular client that how the data the data will look if you use a certain visualization tool, and what insights are you gonna get. But you yourself need to have a knowledge on the same tool before you actually know how this particular tool is gonna help you with that particular data. As I said, that visualization tools help you to bring in insights from them. They have a lot of things to show from the hidden facts of the data. So this is how BA can actually work with this tool. So you'll not be only able to work with this tool, but you'll be able to actually make other people learn what data insights you can actually provide to the organization, and as well as to the team who's going to work on the tool.
Thanks, Ranjana. So I guess, Ranjana, we are good now. Yes, we don't see any questions coming up now.
Okay.
All right. So as you have already seen the contact details in the last slide, so you can always write your questions there as well. And if you want to inquire for the courses also, So you can always reach out to us. I'm giving the contact numbers also in the chat box to everyone. So if you have any questions related to any courses at Techcanvass, so you can always reach out to us on those contacts number also. All right, everyone. So thanks for joining and attending this webinar today. Thanks, Ranjana. Thanks for the wonderful session today.
Thanks to the audience.
I guess
They have been very patient for listening to me.
Yeah. All right, so let's end this session now. Thanks, everyone.